Hi, I'm Desiree. I'm one of the owners from Ravencroft Farm. Originally, we were Blymeyer Farms, but we've changed some things up in the last year. A lot of things have happened. A year ago, we were already considering moving to New York. I don't think most people know that. Maybe I've mentioned it in videos before on here. I don't think so. But a year ago, next month, my grandmother, my last remaining grandparent, had passed away here in New York. And April came around, just a few weeks later, and we visited and saw some family and friends. And during that time we were up here, we checked around and hung out for a little bit. And I showed my fiance, who lived in Florida all of his life, my little hometown of like 1,200 people. Well, anyways, we came up in April, hung out, and we were already discussing moving, but at the time, we didn't think that we could because we had condoned with somebody, and they weren't really the biggest idea of selling our 1-acre homestead farm house in Florida. So, I kind of gave up on the gardening because I just couldn't get it to work. And we were just having some other issues, so we ended up selling the chickens and rehoming the ducks and a lot of other things, downsizing on a lot of things, just in case the opportunity came along. And that's we were in a limbo from April until August, when we really started okay, we really want this. We're really going to make this happen. We have an opportunity to rent the place that we hung out with. When we came up in April, we stayed in a family friend's extra. It used to be an antique store, and then he emptied it out, added a kitchen and stuff like that. Plenty of room for our family. We had hung out here for the week that we were up in April, and I kind of threw out the idea, hey, if we could rent it to live in, would you allow us? And they said yes. So then it came down to the matter of selling. I'm not going to go too far into that because that was really more of a thing between our co-owner and my fiance, who co-owned the home that we originally lived in. There was some finagling back and forth. I just worked on packing and purging and cleaning and getting the kids to school and everything else, the background stuff, because he worked full-time, 40 plus hours a week at a warehouse. So the opportunity of place to live came up, and then the other thing was now selling, affording it, and so on and so forth. So we worked and finagled and found a real estate agent and stuff like that, and then they kind of backed out of it, and then we ended up going with somebody that gave us an offer cash for our place that we ended up taking. And October was nuts because it went from we might move to, oh crap, this is happening. So we moved in a matter of 3 weeks from thinking of maybe this can work, to all right, we're going to be out on this day. We moved we left October 24th and made it to New York until October 26th. A 21-hour drive that really took 2-3 days with, we left some cats with some family because we had 9 cats. Now we only have 4. We left some cats with family, and we had brought 5, but unfortunately one of them had a UTI that we did not know about, and the trip really was very tiresome on him. So we only have 4 now, and a bearded dragon. I'm not going to go into all that though. And we moved up here in October. I took a break from a lot of things, to settle back in, get the kids in school, get him working, get my business going for my craft business, which is also the Raven's Nest Trinkets and Trove. You can find it on Facebook. I'll put a writing thing here. So the last year was really, really nuts. Now I'm working on trying to reestablish the business because our idea is over the next couple of years is find a piece of property and a home, or build a home on it, and have a permanent greenhouse for, I call them a hot house, a greenhouse to be able to grow plants and produce year round. Hopefully we'll get some cows and some chickens and some geese and some donkeys over the next few years. But until then, I'm just going to run a produce stand. My dad lives a couple miles away from where we live now, right here in central western New York State. I say upstate, people get picky about it. In Wayne County, right on Lake Ontario. We're not too far from Rochester, New York at all. So now you guys can follow me on the journey of, I've got a bunch of seedlings started, kind of struggling with those at the moment. We're going to have a large, probably half acre to an acre large garden at my dad's place because he owns 3 acres and that's where I grew up gardening. You guys are going to join me in on the gardening journey on how I garden. It isn't no-till, but it is, no GMO and no pesticides, and you'll see. It's really hard to explain. And hopefully you guys will also join me on my sourdough journey and my baking journey and starting not just a homestead, but a farm, like an actual farm. I'll start with homestead, work our way up to an actual farm. And I'm hoping you guys can hang out and join with me. So that's kind of a short, less than 10-minute rundown of what in the world has gone on in the last year since my last video. And I'm hoping to post more, at least one video a month, maybe one video every 2 weeks. Right now it's the middle of February. Can't really do too much other than start some plants and, bake a few things. I am working on a cookbook I'm hoping to post by this fall. It will be based around things that you can grow in your own garden or find at your own farmer's market, cost effective, and like down home, hearty, how to use up the rest of your stuff, affordable food that's good for you. Well, not just good for you, but just taste good in general, that almost anyone can make. I've got other plans too, but I'll share them a little more later on throughout the year. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. Please subscribe, like this video, leave a comment of any questions of any future plans or what type of plants we're planning on growing or what it's like to grow in a Zone 5A area or even what it's like in upstate New York. I don't know, feel free to ask a question. Thanks for joining me.